All right, guys, I see 20 people so far joined this Saturday morning call. Thank you for doing this. So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna do mock interview session, and that's gonna be interactive session today, a little bit different format. So guys, whoever just joined, don't hesitate. Let us know if you want to participate in the mock interview. So the first candidate who want to do the mock interview is Anastasia. She just volunteered, and we will know a little bit about Anastasia soon. But if you guys want to do this also to get the feedback, let us know. We can also do the same thing. So we have capacity today to make 2-3 mock interviews with the 2-3 people, obviously. Let me introduce our hiring managers, actually, right? We have today Nasif. Nasif, please let me know if I pronounce your last name properly. Chowdhury, right? No?
Yeah, you did a good job. It's Chowdhury. Yeah.
Chowdhury. Okay. Okay. And Adeel Mansoor, he is a engineering manager also at company Chowdhury. So Nasif is a director of engineering QA as well. And I'm very glad to you both guys that you also volunteer. So again, like this is a free event, nobody get paid, everybody's volunteered that time. And just the purpose is to give a feedback to those who are in the job market. But for any reason, they don't get like, they want to improve, right? Their interviewing skills. And sometimes giving some direction that would really help, right? So, Anastasia, yeah, thank you for doing this. First of all, it's I know it's nerve-wracking when you do this, especially publicly. But anyway, the format, how we're gonna do this, guys. We're gonna ask first. Tell me about yourself. Like, tell us about your last project. Then Nasif and Adeel will ask follow-up questions, obviously, like in a real interview. And then Nasif and Adeel will provide, and myself will provide a feedback, right? What went well, what could be improved, right? And that's pretty much it. I see.
Okay, maybe I'd add one thing, just in between your introduction and last project you worked on, somewhere in there, fit in what kind of jobs are you targeting? So we ask relevant questions.
Oh yeah, that's 100%. Anastasia, are you with us?
Sorry, I just got disconnected for a couple moments. My connection is not well, so yeah. So could you please repeat the last?
If you're comfortable, I mean, you can turn off the video. It may help to get better reception. I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I just switched to different network, so it should be fine.
Okay.
I hope. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Anastasia. Yeah, as Adeel just mentioned, can you tell us first, like, what kind of position you are looking, and what are you targeting?
Yeah, actually, I right now I've been working as a senior test engineer. I have an experience overall around 10 years. And right now I'm trying to look for the role of software development engineer test. I think I just need, what I want to see is, what I want to get is to get more deeper into development role rather than QE testing. Yeah, so I would say that I would like to find some role in mobile testing specifically in Android. So this is my goal. Yeah, my last project was I was working for eBay and spent with the company around more than 2.5 years. There I was mostly focused on the Android native mobile testing, including some API testing, also native frameworks like Espresso, some unit tests. Yeah. Right now I'm just started my journey to looking for new roles and yeah, trying to apply some positions in this area.
Okay.
Yeah, I was working for a contract role, so this is what's not direct position for eBay, but yeah.
Got it. Got it. Adeel, Nasif?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for going first. We definitely appreciate it. It takes a lot of nerves. So that's definitely number one. Number two is yeah, really sorry about layoffs. But when you look back at it, hopefully it'll just be a bump in the road, and better things will follow right away.
Okay.
Cool. All right. My first question, if I was hiring for somebody for specifically around Android development or testing, I would ask you first off. I think you give a good overview, but let's say, what are some tools and strategies you would recommend for a team that does not have Android automation right now? So tell me walk me through a little bit about that. Walk me through what frameworks you would recommend and why.
Okay, so I have been working with, I was working on native frameworks, so mostly for the UI testing, we're using Espresso tests. Company didn't use any external frameworks like Appium or any other because it was comfortable. So the roles initially, I think the company wants to merge the roles of key and dev. So devs also had some features developed, and we were working on the test-driven development model. So I would, for the new team that doesn't have any Android development, I would recommend also this like model, because it is rather easier to have keys accessible to the source code initially and participate in the entire test cycle from the scratch, from the beginning, once the feature is developed, not waiting until it's completed. And then, and I would say this native framework is faster and more stable rather than having some external. Also for, this is related to functional test for the performance or speed test. I can recommend Perfecto tool. It's having some external device farm. So I would say it's better to use real devices that are located somewhere outside, just to have multiple tests to run parallelly. Yeah, what else? Trying to remember what I have been working with. For the specifically for the testing part, for the test development and test management, I recommend using TestRail. It is the tool that allows to create test plans and have a great way to manage test cases. Also, there is integration with development framework, with the test framework, with there is an ability to run the tests by the command line from there, so and get updates and also get some test results and some metrics for the testing. Yeah, in general, these tools.
Nice, awesome, good overview. Can you expand a little bit on reporting? How would you recommend reporting out test results in the framework that you just described?
Well, for this for the reporting, I would say it's great to have the some continuous integration system set up using Jenkins, for example. So once you have the test set up on the GitHub, you can integrate this with daily or some weekly test run on the Jenkins, and you can set up the jobs there, the pipelines. Jenkins has a great tool to see the reporting, how many tests run, how many tests fail. This is related to the automation. For the manual check, I would definitely recommend going through the test trail system report. So it also shows some statistics, how many of these are failing and running.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see if I'll give you a chance to ask some questions.
Yeah, no, thank you. And Anastasia, thank you for the intro. Like Adeel said, I think we've all been there. We've all been at that point where, things didn't work out, whether it was layoffs or other factors, but usually the case is that things end up working out better for you in the long run, and it's a good learning opportunity. So good luck to you on that. And so I think one common theme you guys will see from me is that I'm the type of manager that, when I do these interviews, I generally like to have a few other of my direct reports with me, right? So I like to have them focus on some of the more technical aspects, where I like to look to see if someone is going to be a good fit with our team. So I try to focus my questions really around the soft skills and, how you dealt with the processes and procedures. And so I think that kind of leads me into my question, which would be more towards geared around what type of roles you're looking for, and how has your experience in the different environments that you've worked in, how has that shaped what you're currently looking for in your next opportunity?
Yeah, for the environment, you mean the technical, sorry for the question, or rather the way of organization the team is using for their teams?
Exactly. The second part, yeah, more so the organization.
Okay, so I would say I used to work in Agile, where for my last project, we used Kanban model. So different teams, and before that, I used to work in sprints model. So planning and assigning the tickets, and you are working, and there are some deadlines. So I would say I used to organize my work this way, so I can get to the deadline in time. Will be Agile.
And between the Agile and Kanban and sprints, do you have a preferred method that you prefer to work with, or something that's really worked out that you've seen has benefited the way you enjoy doing things?
Yeah, I would say for the Kanban, it has some benefits that a team can be more flexible. So 3 tasks in a row, so you cannot have more than 3 tasks you're working on currently. And there is more flexibility, rather than you have, for example, 2-week sprints and you have to complete. Yeah, I would prefer Kanban. And this is what worked for our team for at least 1.5 years before. I would say from my end, we had specifically for quality tasks, we have clear process of what tickets are in backlog, what tickets are currently in progress, and what is ready for key and what are closed. So it's a very flexible and manageable process. So no strict deadlines. So.
And you know how Kanban is generally very fast paced, right? Sometimes it's you work to ship things out in a week versus a 2-week sprint, or it can vary. Are you typically somebody that enjoys working in that under that kind of pressure or time constraints? Can you talk a little bit about how your experience has been and how you feel comfortable working within those kinds of fast-paced environments and fast-paced basically overall the really fast pace?
Yeah, I would say I just get used to work on these week cycles, because we had 1 week release cycle, so it's very fast, and you have to be able to adjust your timings. And so, yeah, I would say I'm feeling pretty much comfortable working in this. But again, I think Kanban allows you to have some tasks that are not very urgent or not prioritized to move forwards. This can be also a drawback because some tasks can just sit in the backlog for a while and nobody cannot take them. But in general, yeah, this is a good way of doing things fast and make some progress for the team.
Okay, and last question for this round. What type of role do you enjoy playing within prioritizing the work? You know, are you looking for something in your next opportunity? Are you looking for an opportunity to really play a big part in prioritizing the team's workload?
Yeah, I think it would be great. So because I like organizing things and just know what you need to do. So not just following the manager's instructions, but rather than I prefer to have the direction where we need to go and just plan very small things on my own. So, this is what I'm looking for.
Awesome. I think that's it for me for this round.
Thank you, Nasif.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Couple of more questions. Next one is, can you tell me about a time where an area of the application you were working on, area that you were responsible for, there was a issue or a defect in production? Can you tell me about how you identified and investigated the issue with yourself and the team?
Either the bug is already in production, right? And this is
Yes.
already.
Yeah.
Well, I think the best way is to have to debug it as soon as possible, notify the team, whatever. Developers can take a look and check what happened, what caused it, and then to have it maybe have some dot release just to have it fixed as soon as possible, and so the users are not getting the error as soon as possible. Also, there is we have actually used the Crashlytics report, so and there is not one step process of the releasing, so it's 1%, 2%, and then 5% users. So the team is there was a different team who was watching this statistics on the Crashlytics, and if something happens, they just stop the release and fix and make a dot release, and then do the same process again of publication. So this is how we get used to fix the major bugs if something happened.
Awesome. Really cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kenny, you have some questions?
I think no, so far definitely that if that would be a real interview, I have 100% confidence that you would go further for the next step to the technical round. Obviously with a whiteboard or share screen, co-repad. So definitely you have a great experience, and yeah, I can see that you are just started with your job search, and you have a little bit shaky voice, and that makes sense because we do this publicly. You probably a little bit nervous, but you will get used to it, so don't worry about that. And yeah, from my side, I would say you did a great job anyway. Adeel, Nasif.
Yeah, so totally. I think you could definitely see the experience come out, but a little bit more nervous when you first started, but you get more and more comfortable. So that will just be a little bit more effective. Something I would use for myself is like before an interview, I might just do some practice myself you know, those questions, tell me about yourself, your first project, are going to come up. If you really put them to memory, it's easier to just let the muscle memory do the work there. That might be helpful. You did a really, I thought your overview of the framework was really, it was very concise. It was a good answer, because what you want to do is when you answer something like that, you don't want to go off for 10 minutes and not let the interviewer a chance to follow up. So I felt like you did a really, it was really effective how you explained it. And then, you know, then it allowed me to ask a follow-up question, which you were able to answer as well. So, so those are really good things. Also, just a little bit of a reminder, obviously in this forum or any other forum, wouldn't want you to share any proprietary information from your previous work, but pay attention to what I was looking for was a specific example. Your answer was really good. If I had asked how would you generally handle a production issue, or how have you handled it? So just it wasn't anything you did wrong. Just a reminder as you go through this journey, pay attention to when an interviewer is looking for a specific example, and those are called behavioral questions. They're really looking for, so maybe you can give a little high level, like generic, and then dive into a specific example. This is, you know, this is a cool, comfortable, safe space. So nothing you did wrong. So just a little bit of something to keep in mind as you go forward in your journey.
Yeah, and if I can add on to that, I think Adeel kind of, you know, you nailed it. I'd say two things. The one thing is, you know, for everyone on this panel, when you're in your respective workplaces, and you're going to have ups and downs, right? You're going to have different situations come up where there might be a production bug. There might be something that comes up that may have been due to a lapse in process, or due to a lapse in your personal process. Obviously take those as learning opportunities, right? You know, bad things happen at work, you know, when we learn. So take note of those things, because when you go into those interviews and you get asked those questions like Adeel just asked, where they ask you, hey, can you talk about a situation where so-and-so happened? You want to use those opportunities to talk about those situations where something went wrong, and you went through that learning opportunity. And so I think keep those in mind, because that's gonna help you build character, and it's gonna help you build just your overall confidence. And kind of going into the other part that what Adeel touched on is in regards to, you know, starting the interview nervous. Just be confident. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I know you're interviewing for a job, but just sell yourself. You know, just come in there with the most confidence that you can. You know, because you are qualified, you are accomplished and competent. So just come in there and say, hey, this is me. This is what I bring to the table, and just be confident about it. You know, if you got to this point where you're interviewing, then that means that you've done enough things right to be able to present yourself in that space. So again, just be confident. You know, don't feel nervousness. You know, I know it might be nerve-wracking because you're thinking about the possibility of things going, you know, negatively or positively. But again, just be confident, you know, be yourself and do your best. So obviously easier said than done, but, you know, just give it your best shot.
Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate your feedback.
No worries, Nastasia.
Thank you.
We also give you a chance, because, you know, we want to be both ways, right? You're welcome to ask Adeel and Nasif and myself as well a question. Like maybe, you know, like if you just started, actually, you know what, like, how is your job search right now? Like, have you started?
Just starting, not much. Yeah,
Not much.
I didn't put any applications yet. Yeah, so just
okay.
want to
Got
want to brush up my resume and update LinkedIn and.
Okay. Yeah, like maybe
I would say don't wait too long. You already, just with this small example, like I can see you have a lot to offer, a team who's looking for someone with your skills. So don't wait too long. Tap into your network, get feedback on your resume quickly. I think if people you worked with before, they'll be willing to help you. Just, I would say, do it as soon as possible, because there's somebody out there looking for you right now, and they're just waiting for you to apply and seeing your resume.
Thank you. This is very motivating. Thank you.
Sure, sure. Do you have any questions? Let's see.
Yeah, not much actually. I just a bit nervous, definitely, because I'm just started, and this is my first interview, kind of. And just wanted to say thank you for organizing this and bringing this up, and this is really useful.
I have actually also a question, like, how long ago, how long ago did you have a last interview? Like, obviously it was probably with eBay, right? Like, but
yeah.
Have
it's
you
been
been
more
on
than
the
2 years ago?
More than 2
years ago, yeah.
Okay. And how long you've been interviewing before you land a job into eBay?
I would say before that, there was just a COVID started. And this took me 3.5 months. So from April, and I got, the first day was in June. So yeah, 3 months, let's say.
So I assume that at that time you was like grounding the interviews, right? After
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm planning to do right now, just to brush up my knowledge for the algorithms and prepare for the technical round, mostly, and also behavioral questions. That's as we are doing here.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing, guys. Like, and let's see, I've been in this situation also recently, like when I was going through interviews, like specifically like for as a position. And as you see, and as you can experience, that the interviewing skills, you need to not just develop once, but you have to maintain them. You have to practice them, because wherever you do at your work, it may be not exactly relevant when you're gonna be going through interview, right? Like, again, like you have to be at the same time, you have to wear several hats. Like, you have to be technical good enough, like to solve problems, and you have to be salesy enough to sell yourself, like to be
right,
to like you, right? Like at the same time, and but not too salesy at the same time, not too like being so pushy. So it's definitely something that you need to practice. And I can tell you, like, you're on a good start. I have 100% confidence that you will get there soon. Just maybe a few rounds of any other interview, maybe any other failures, like failures is actually, I would say it's not a failure, it's a gaining experience, gaining
opportunity.
Yes, gaining opportunity, confidence, and I I know like some type of people who would be like, oh, before going to the interview, I need to be perfect. Before grounding this, I need to be study, then practice, and someday I can go to the market. But in reality, you should actually start doing this. You should, the perfect way, if you have someone who can do mock interview with you. Obviously, even better if you have someone like Nasif or Adeel, who are actually hiring managers who can provide you feedback. But here we are, right? This is what we do. But definitely you need to practice, and you will gain the confidence again, like, and you will ground it. That's I have 100% confidence in you, Mr. C. Yeah, just
and one thing I would add on to, sorry, Evgeny, one thing I would add on is that you definitely don't want to come off too brash or too just like too salesy or like that. So what I would say is always prepare notes ahead of time, right? Prepare notes for that specific interview, or just in general, to prepare notes for key talking points, because you don't know exactly what the kind of questions you're going to be asked, but you should have an idea, because generally there are somewhat of the similar. So you want to kind of have a list of items that you want to talk about, and kind of in your mind form some sort of mental structure that I'm going to be asked these questions about my technical skills, and then prepare some notes as far as what you've done, the names of the tools you've used, the types of environments you worked in, the practices, and the way, and things related to that. And then also at the same time, talk about situational things, such as, like the questions that Adeel was asking, can you talk about a time where XYZ happened? You want to list those down. I think the more notes you take, and the more preparation you do on your own, that I think the easier it'll be translating that into the interview. Kind of it's almost like a unofficial cheat sheet for you, right? It's a sort of like, you're being asked these questions on the spot, but in your mind you've written it down already, and so you kind of have it sitting there with you. You can talk about those things and refer to those points at any point, and I think you'll see that the more times you repeat that process, the easier it'll get, and that'll help you build your confidence as well.
Yeah, thanks. That's a great advice.
100%, 100%. And last advice. And I gave this analogy when I was talking last time with Adeel. I saw these two pictures, like someone on YouTube posted this, like during the interview, you can be two types of characters. One type, you would be like a superhero, a macho, or like, like a superwoman, like who can ground it, nailed it, like who can beat it up any interviews, right? Or you can be the other person who would be careless, who don't give a damn, like if he fail or if he pass. If he pass, great. If he fail, I don't care, So I think the second character will win, because the first character who would be like, oh, I'm prepared, I will ground it. But if you fail, like, it will hurt, right? It will hurt. So guys, like, I think it's not to Anastasia, but anyone else, like, and myself, this is, I personally, I like going through interviews. I mean, it's stressful, but it's fun. I mean, I was going like, just have fun. If you have this mentality, your mindset, you will be, unbeatable, right? Nobody can beat you up. Anyway, thank you, Anastasia.
Don't be afraid to fail. Yeah. What he said, don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
It happens to everybody. You're going to fail from time to time. So don't be afraid to fail and go through those experiences, because again, it's always a learning opportunity.
Totally. Thank you, Anastasia.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I will see you next time. Please join us next time. You're very welcome. So before Anne joined, she also want to do the mock interview. Guys, if anyone else want to do this mock interview, let us know. Are you guys all in our crushing interview website? Have you joined to this? So I just want to tell you guys, we just moved to this website. So what we're gonna do on this website, first, obviously, we'll host all these events like this. That's the first one. Second one, we're gonna develop the interviewing community for the interviewing skills, right? So if you haven't joined, I mean, you should probably, but stick to this community. We'll post there like interviewing stories, content, like learning content as well. And don't hesitate to post any questions, especially, I think that would be especially relevant to people who just going into their first QA job, or to development job. Post, because we have hiring managers who can help you out, like with it's like EMA, ask me anything, right? So you can post anything. We'll try to help you out to answer those questions.